I believe it was William Shakespeare who, in Hamlet, coined the phrase, and above all else, to thy own self be true. In other words, probably a good idea to live authentically. Hey, human, Coach Nate here with another mindful focus to share with you. In today's moment, I want to talk about living authentically and how that allows us to break free from expectations, or I'll say breaking free from expectations. One of the greatest tragedies in life is when we spend, or rather waste, our time, our life being somebody who we are not. In this facade that we have created, this image, this false image that isn't true to the human that we actually are, perhaps somebody that we feel we ought to be. Worse yet, if it could get worse, is spending and wasting our time in our life trying to be what others expect us to be, or what we think others expect us to be, especially when it's not in line with who we are, who we know ourselves to be, or who we even desire for ourselves to be, for ourselves, not for anybody external. That can feel like being you feel imprisoned. You feel suffocated, trapped, in bondage, if you will, trying to live up to unrealistic expectations that aren't yours, that they are others, and your interpretation of others that they set. Or maybe they were very clear and communicated and conveyed that, I want you to, or you should be, or I expect you to. When did that become a thing? When did it become okay, socially acceptable for others to have expectations of our lives? That's your life that you were given the gift to live as you choose, and feel free, go ahead, knock yourself out, enjoy it. This is mine. It was given to me, and it's my gift for me to live as I choose and as I see fit. If you have expectations of me on how I should live my life, why don't you just go ahead and apply that to your life and you live that out? If that's your fantasy and your desire and your passion, go forth and live, preferably away from me if your goal is to impose your views, your expectations on me if they don't align, if they don't fit. You have your own. So that's a tough message and a very tough place to be, and perhaps you're finding yourself there. So how do you let go, live now, win in that arena? How do you live authentically and then breaking free from those expectations? First, ask yourself, whose values are they? Are they mine, or are they somebody else's? Do these belong to me in terms of I own them, I relate to them, they have special meaning to me, or were they imposed on me externally and I feel obligated to walk in step? Here's your sign. One of your first indications. That's not me. That's you, or you, or you, or them. But that's not who I am. Clear sign of lack of authenticity. That can unfold as we peel the layers of the onion back of, are you passionate about it? Is it something that has intrinsic value to you? Is it something that you embrace? Is it important to you? Is it in line with helping support or sustain or achieve your purpose, your chosen purpose, not a purpose that somebody else chose for you? It's not going to the store and picking out an outfit and I want you to wear this and I want you to be that. That's all external. That's all well and good. And I can do that, but then I can shed it. But when it becomes an expectation of me and how I'm going to conduct my life and how I'm going to live and what I'm going to do and think, that becomes too embedded. It's not an outfit that we can just take off and discard. And that then shifts us into living inauthentically internally, and it just breaks things. It causes damage, harm. So, in order to avoid that, define what it is that you want, desire, are passionate about, what has meaning and value to you for your life. Be clear on that. Have that conversation with yourself without the external influences of others. Who are you? And in that realm of desires, purposes, goals, values, what are yours? Separating out what others had put in. Just give them back. Okay, you may have that back, and you may have that back. And Oprah say, you get an expectation, and you get an expectation, and you get an expectation. Giving it back. Return to sender. Thank you. There is a big difference between doing things right, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and doing the right thing, step 1, 3, 7. We get so caught up in we've got to go through this exact chronological order of doing things. We get into a rote mode. We put aside thinking. We become robotic. The life experience is almost, it evaporates at that point, and we get fixated on this false ideology of, well, this is the way that it is, this is the way that it must be, and this is the way that it must go. That's robotic. Sometimes it means going from step 1 to 3 or step 1 to 5, sometimes step 1 to 7. For you, each of us are unique. There's no two retinas, there's no two fingerprints that are alike. We are all unique individuals. What one man's food is another man's poison. One man's garbage is another man's treasure. We've heard those cliches, but the truth of the fact of the matter is that you are the only one that knows what works for you. Don't let anybody else tell you that, define that for you, because then you become their creation and not who you are. We can extract information, we can take in and analyze. Critical thinking, always process, but before we accept it as the truth for us, our truth, we need to assess, does it align with who I am as a unique individual, my desires, my goals? And in doing that, that's where we let ourselves out of expectation prison. It's a cell that we hold the key to, and it locks from the inside, and we put ourselves in there trying to live up to other people's expectations, which in truth, more often than not, is living down, because those expectations of others are beneath who you are, your authentic, the potency of who you are as an individual and your true authentic self, the potency of how the quality of life, the value, the fulfillment, living beneath your level of fulfillment, enjoyment, and quality of life is when you focus on living down to the expectations that others have on you. Let that marinate. Think about that. When we have this facade, this false belief of who we think we are based on what others have created in their minds, that devolves into a fake life, which ends up in, or the existence there is an emptiness. Are you finding that what this is not what I imagined? This does not feel fulfilling. This feels like Groundhog Day, going through the same thing day in, day out, and over again. And it's just, what is the point? You might not be living authentically. You might be in the bondage of other people's expectations. which expectation, when I say that, is like obligation. I'm obligated to. You are not obligated to live up, down, sideways in anybody else's expectation for your life, because it is yours, not theirs. It belongs to you, not them. You are in charge. You get to make the call. Your life. You are the owner, the only one. Can it be signed away, co-signed, leased? The benefit there is we gain a far more fulfilling and rewarding life, one that we look forward to when we're only impressing ourselves, setting expectations of what we want to achieve for ourselves, which we then have the control over, and living up to our fullest potential as we live for ourselves and not another human being. We're no longer then bound by trying to appease and please other individuals to meet their expectations, very often unrealistic, and then free to live, be, do, achieve, be our own person. You have every right to be your own hero, to be the person that you think highly of and highly regard and value and trust and are aspire to live to meet the expectations of you, yourself, not external. That's how we then begin to know our own worth, break free of those things that are holding us back, and then we are allowed to flourish. Will everything be perfect? Absolutely not. But when we're living our authentic self, we are much better equipped to be able to navigate through life's challenges rather than it just piling on top of all of the other stuff that's there. Be your own hero. Live up to your expectations that you own, that you set, and challenge yourself to grow, and then pat yourself on the back and be proud of who you are as your authentic self. Just sharing some insights with you. Feel free to try them, toss them. Both of those can be correct answers, but as we just said, only you are the person, the human, capable, able to make that decision for you. If you like this content, please do give a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post additional content like this, and please share this with somebody who you feel will benefit from it or might or could. And remember above all else to let go, live now, and win.